The Pacific Northwest sees much more than the stereotypical rain. Everything from tornadoes to funnel clouds to record-breaking heat was observed in 2024. That's where we begin with a look back at the summer sizzle.
We saw 4 days in the triple digits this year. 3 of them came right around the 4th of July weekend and celebrations.
Yes, it is hot in terms of the temperature and the music.
We had a 3-day streak in the triple digits, and then that last one came at the beginning of September when we hit 102 on the 5th.
And in the sand volleyball league that I play in, our game was definitely canceled days in advance because they knew the excessive heat was coming.
The hot and dry conditions also meant that wildfires would be coming too.
We actually saw more acres burned here in Oregon than in 2020, which I'm sure you all remember as a very smoky year here. It's just we didn't get much smoke in Portland this year. Instead, it stayed out in central Oregon and the eastern parts of the state.
As if fires weren't scary enough, the severe weather threat was matched. Funnel clouds and even tornadoes became a common occurrence.
Check this out. This is some wild video. A tornado caught on camera on the Oregon coast. This footage from the Neahkani School District building in Rockaway Beach.
And the severe weather threat wasn't just for the transitional months.
Well, the summertime is usually hot, dry, and smoky sometimes, but we can also get quite the show from lightning and thunderstorms. So my favorite weather event, or the most memorable one, happened in around mid-August when we saw severe thunderstorms, a big outbreak across western Oregon and southwest Washington. We had maybe 6 thunderstorm warnings in place. We saw 2,500 lightning strikes around the Portland area and in areas of southwest Washington. And it also happened to be my wedding day. So I was at the altar sharing my vows among booms of thunder, and it certainly was a day that I will never forget.
Well, that's pretty hard to top. Many of you on social media said that January's ice storm was the most memorable of the year.
Remember the January snow and ice storm here in Portland? That clearly stuck out as the premier event, so to speak, of last winter. Temperatures started out in the 30s in the morning hours of that Friday, and they were down into the teens by the time we got to 10, 11 p.m. that Friday night. And then all day Saturday, winds blowing 50, even 60 miles an hour out of the Columbia River Gorge.
I was out there that day when we had those winds, and I had the anemometer out there, and downtown, thankfully with all of the tall buildings, it does shield the wind a bit, but it was still so cold. I was really glad that I was bundled up that day.
I've been forecasting here for many years, third generation native of Vancouver, and I can tell you that's one of the most significant Arctic blasts that I can remember in my lifetime.
Certainly a winter we will not soon forget. But one of the most difficult events to predict this year wasn't actually weather related at all. 2024 was the year of the Northern Lights. It wasn't just one night, but multiple events throughout the year helped to light up the night skies of the Pacific Northwest. A peak in the solar cycle helped bring the dazzling display to much of the continental U.S. in 2024.